Right, now I'm here to do an update, and I just love this screenshot. I should just keep that there because it's pretty much how the astrology directly is going. And I'm preparing for my July read. So I'm like I've had to block out some of my schedule. I'm researching the astrology. I wish I had 20 hands on, honestly do, because I could get so much more done. Now, I'll wait for a few people to connect and we'll get into from this point. Now, for me in Perth, Western Australia, I'm already at the 23rd, which on the 23rd, let me see, yes, we currently in Perth, WA, have Neptune going retrograde. So it's always great, to have an Australian reader and a person that covers the astrology, because we synchronistically will feel a lot of the energy before you guys, right? So I get the greatness, right? The fun bits. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Neptune going retrograde. I was jotting down some of the things, and the basic reality. Neptune currently in the placement, there's so much psychology that's going to come up. So I did do a post on Facebook. Hi, Stella. Hi, everyone. Where you're spiritually going to be at. I had a bit of a purge yesterday. I moved through my clients, and synchronistically, a lot of times... Hi, Mark. A lot of things that we go through, it's usually the spiritual community will go through it first. We're trying to be quite, behave, don't show the public what we're going through, but we're human. We go through what you guys go through. Synchronistically, with a lot of the energy that's coming through, it is very emotional. So, be it moon energy, it is to do with your emotions, and it's quite synchronistic. That Neptune going retrograde is like, it can, at a theoretical high, be a 3D situation, especially with Neptune going retrograde. Now, it can come down to, it governs self-sacrifice, victimization, false accusation, scandal, and slander. We may feel scared, betrayed, anxious, and not so great, right? So let's get down to that vibration. Venus is going to be going direct. So we had Juno, which Juno currently is still in Libra, and I'm pretty sure it's there till about October. So for the zodiac signs of Libra and Aries, because the shadow energy is both Libra and Aries, we'll be looking at these things, but we'll be doing it, through polar opposite energies, but still nevertheless looking at our marriages, contracts, partnerships. And, for everyone collectively, we will be doing this too. Venus going direct, lockdown energy, assessing where our value systems are, the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. I did say this would be a heavy month. Now, what we need to understand is where we're moving to, it's amping up. Amping up in a sense because we're purging things out. We're going into ourselves. We're looking at our emotions. Like I said, you could be having dreams. You might be psychoanalyzing your connections. Sagittarius can relate to siblings. Family-related dynamics, karmic-related dynamics playing out. And so it's a bit like you're being your own worst enemy and telling yourself fake stories, maybe feeling a pain body experience, and maybe they were very relevant to you. So with Neptune going retrograde and Venus going direct, no sooner do you understand and have reached that purgatory state, making assessments, looking at things, maybe seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly. Neptune then goes retrograde to show you is that maybe a 3D situation can come up. And 9 times out of 10, yes, it can be. If the environment is not suited to you, you will reject it. It's natural. But it can actually show you a wound and a belief system you had that was built on a flawed premises. Now, this can connect to your money, your romance, what else? Your dreams, whatever it is, whatever that wound is that comes up or a situation that plays out. It's a bit like, running through a circuit. If you really want it, a bit like Brittany, if you want it, you better work, right? So you're not going to do anything that you don't feel holds value. And if you do, more it's placing the value within yourselves. What do you have the ability to do? What don't you? Now, with Ascension, and this has been a great debate over the last week, A lot of you may have been feeling, gosh, have I done enough? Did I do enough? Am I currently doing enough? Am I utilizing my time management effectively? With Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, it's going to help, but Saturn is going direct at the first day of the month. So pre-warned, forearmed. And you do know what happens when that goes direct. It's like all systems on board, let's move. Now, we'll be moving back into Capricorn. The dates I haven't looked yet, but it will be moving out of that energy and moving direct. Neptune will be retrograde, like I said. For me, it's already started, so I'll tell you how it goes. So from, where am I? I've got the dates everywhere. Okay, 23rd of June in Pisces. So again, our psychology, our crown chakra. This is really going to show you if these vibrations have been based on a 3D reality. And, it can be something to the degree of, I want a multi-million-dollar house. Hi, Dale. But, have we directly done anything to move in that direction? Yes, energetically, when we're manifesting, universe, you won't need to manifest. If something is directly supposed to come into your ethers, it will directly come. So you go through a stage in life where you understand that, and we both bring in the yin and yang of manifestation until we learn that we can control it. And then we understand as spiritual beings, as we ascend, that you don't need to do that because it's not necessarily always in our best interest to be in that egoic form and belief we know better than Saturn or Gaia or Source or God, that, you allow things to play out. You're more in the fluid frequency of acceptance. Like you're on a joyride pretty much, which is what ascension is. So let's get into some of the aspects that's coming up. So the sun currently is in Cancer and it is squaring Chiron. What does that mean? Again, we have so many placements at the moment in Cancer and Mercury that we are assessing our emotions. It's hard. It's coming up and it might be painful, but the Aries and Chiron placement is helping you really look at it and wager the fact if you can work through that wound, if you can work through that adversity. So you might be feeling a little bit bipolar. Yes, you can. Did I do enough? No, I can't logically understand. So it can be a lot of bouncing back and forward, but moving through that emotion and looking at some things that you're actually working towards, dealing with, the healing energy. PTSD has come up quite a bit in a conversational piece. So has the work that one does on their wounds. And if it's associated directly with environmental or directly with we haven't done enough work. So some of those situations can be coming up for you guys as well. So with the themes of family, it can be a scenario that's playing outside of you, and maybe your family or you, there is healing to be done in that department. But again, we've had the eclipse in Cancer. Mercury is in Cancer. The sun is in Cancer currently. What else? Like I said, we had the eclipse. Now, we will be having a new moon in Cancer at the end of July on the 20th, which I will be covering each of these energies. When you look to the asteroids, there's more placements in that area too, but we're going to keep it as simple as possible. So on the 30th is when the sun will be in Cancer. So this day we need to be aware of. Also, it's going to be squaring Aries. So if something comes up relating to family and it's causing conflicts, be in awareness of this. And it can be something happening to you or something happening with them. And synchronistically, 9 times out of 10, you tend to go through it yourself and you kind of feel all alone. And then synchronistically, your family will be going through something similar. And a lot of you will have one particular individual that will be coming into your life that's very similar to you, where you may energetically feel alone, but they could be feeling that way too. And you're sort of seeing a theme of where you are changing. So you can relate directly to maybe particular tribe individuals, and it doesn't even have to be DNA family. There can be a high level of energy coming through on this date on the 30th. Now, I do believe, and I'll have to double check, I was trying to scroll through, I do believe Jupiter is going to be in conjunction with Pluto on that day. So again, with our belief systems, this is what I'm sensing coming up. Because we're going to have Mercury in Cancer on the 30th sextiling Uranus, which again is these changes we'd need to make connecting to things. Is it able to change and transform, or isn't it? So I'm sort of seeing the analogy of a hot potato bag. And, when you can deal with something, thanks so much, beautiful. When you can do something, yes, but if all parties aren't on board, no, you can't. Because sometimes we do need to look at the responsibility of enabling people. That has been another energy coming up. We generally don't learn lessons if we are preventing people from experiencing adversity, owning their own power, which is empowering towards themselves. And also, sometimes when these doors close, it's not necessarily like saying no permanently, but it is divinely guided for things to transform. And we do need to trust that process. If there's something we can do that's different. So Jupiter in conjunction with, currently they're both in the same zodiac sign, right? There can be something to do with the government coming up at that time, obviously, because a lot of times government officials, police, a lot of that was to do with government energies. Separately, that can be coming up on the 30th. And also something coming up with family. So it's almost like, the good old Cancer Capricorn axis going on. The whole situation has transformed, but now is the testing time. So old situations, as Venus goes direct, having to make very quick decisions, having to look at things and go, yes, no, not maybe so. The fence-sitting energy is going to cause more adversity, and it's only delaying the inevitable. And once we have other planets going retrograde, in around August, we should be more in alignment to know exactly where we're going. When Uranus goes retrograde, it's sudden. So if we have not been in alignment, it's moved for us. Pluto going direct, the same situation. So yes, Saturn will be going direct. Neptune on the 23rd is going retrograde. On the 30th, we have the Sun in Cancer squaring Chiron in Aries. Time to heal, look at it, reassess. It can be, squaring aspects can be difficult. They're not meshing. It's a bit like Cinderella handing her shoe to Drusilla and she's trying to fit it. It's just not working. So unless she can cut half a foot off, it's just not going to fit, right? But you're trying to work around that direct obstacle. Crappy analogy, but nevertheless it's one. With the conjunction occurring, again happening on the 30th, some of the themes are already going to start playing out to do with the eclipse that we're having in July, linking in with the lunar eclipse in Capricorn. Now it's going to be at 13 degrees, which is technically, it's close enough to the critical degree, and it will be on the 5th, which I will be covering that separately. I've printed all the things out. As to Mars is also squaring the nodes. And when you look at Mars, it's going to be in Pisces. So again, it's linking into Neptune, making a conversational piece with, okay, what are you fighting for? What is your psychology around the reasons why you're doing something? It is a very psychological evaluation going on till the end of the month. So if you feel you don't have all the answers, it is perfectly normal. If you know beyond a shadow of doubt and you're moving towards your energy and you're focusing on your side of the fence and where you need to move, it will bode the best. It doesn't mean you won't have adversity. Both spiritual belief systems and communication is going to be the key. But squaring aspects may make that incredibly difficult with Mars squaring the node. So again, we have Mercury in Cancer, difficulty articulating how you feel within your family, within your emotions, maybe moving more towards particular tribes for that. With the Sagittarian nodes, it can be even with siblings. And with the Gemini axis, again, communication-related dynamics within family. So just be mindful of that. But again, anything that comes up, it's stepping back, attempting to breathe, and not necessarily looking at it that it's negative. Can it be addressed? Can it be transformed? Are we placing too much energy on that? And, even themes of finding tribe, 90% of the community and the population isn't going to get everything they can from kin. And that's the reality. Every single person on the planet may wish they had a better childhood. A lot of it has been inner child wounds for 2.5 years. It's been our families, our home, very fourth house placement. It has been heavy due to that because it's ending that cycle. So it's like that squeeze, that end squeeze. Where is the safety? Where is the home going to be? Are we moving? Again, all of these themes are coming to the forefront, and it does feel very fast paced. So if you're needing to sign documents, again, linking into any home related dynamics or emotional driven frequencies, it's not saying don't do it. I mean, we're gonna, even though we've had the eclipse in Cancer, we've easily got about 4 to 8 weeks of Mercury in Cancer, both with shadow and direct. So still within that frequency, tying out that karmic cycle is going to take a wee bit longer. On top of the next energy of the Capricorn eclipse, which again, as we move into next month, I will be covering that energy. But that's why I'm picking more August. But at an emotional level, because it's very moon energy, it's very feminine. Also, if you're a male, it's the things that you're not saying, how you're feeling. Owning personal power has been coming up a lot. Now, for masculine energies, we do currently have Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn. And as I mentioned, on the 30th, it's going to be in conjunction with Pluto. I do feel any pinch that male energies are feeling. It's really, really squeezing. Now, owning throat chakra has been coming up a lot. You may find you have potty mouth and you're feeling very abrupt, and that's feminine or masculine. Where, you know, your wound and your healthy boundary, it's like, look, the fence might have been over there, but it's well and truly, it's gone 10 miles now. So don't test the frequency. It's very heightened. It's very Mars energy. Now, when Mars transits towards Aries, I've got to get that date. Okay, so here is the date. Mars and Aries. On the 28th, Mars will be in Aries. And my sister's sharing a video. Oh, I hope she doesn't call. I'll be in trouble. Now, Mars in Aries is going to be there for 6 months. So for masculine individuals, they are going to have an extra bit of push because we relate Jupiter and Mars to male masculine energies. For those of you that are feminine, this can be your career and the things you are working towards in a very masculine orientated energy. Your exercise, getting your day-to-day routines done, able to deal with aspects of adversity. With the conjunction there, I don't know if I'm feeling it. It is good in the end, but if they've really been in their ego feeling they can't achieve something, I just feel it's like, you know, squeezing something to the point it's popping, and it's getting to that pressure cooker point. Again, what are we fighting for? Do we need to let the deadwood go? That conjunction point is really going to give that questioning point, because Capricorn energy is deeply accountable. It's a heavy weight to carry. It's deeply responsible. If there's been some sense, especially with Neptune going retrograde, it kind of correlates with these dates. It's almost like if there's been this blame game or energies to that degree, like I mentioned, in any person that directly is coming towards them, or if this is the vibration they're feeling, scared, betrayed, anxious, guilty, humiliated, their sacrifices they've made, be it, you know, towards putting themselves second or towards a karmic energy, or another person feeling this, it can go both ways. And this is what's going to come through in the reads collectively at the moment. You may not know completely if that's the person's energy or if it is a surrounding energy playing out. So we do need to be mindful of that. Self-sacrifice, victimization, false accusations, scandal, slander. These things, if they have been attempting to have compassion and understanding, which is really where feminines were, it's going to come to a halt where they're looking at it, especially with Neptune retrograde, which can be a direct 3D situation playing out. Any questions? Now, this can be for all of us collectively. Make sure your paperwork's in order. Try and deal with things as, you know, best you can. Even if you're feeling tired, with Chiron squaring, where's we at? Moving towards, you know, the end of this month, the 30th, it's going to peak. It's going to continue peaking. Like Mark said, it's like, you know, we try to tell you what's going on because we go through it ourselves. I mean, we would love to be saying everything's beautiful, but look at where I own energy. Is it going to get better? Yes, it is. But it's this adjustment factor and soul healing that we're going through at the moment. And again, with these eclipses tying it, you can actually probably see in the collective of what's coming up. And I'd say by August, major energies in a conversational pace, playing out of rebuilding. What we'd need to do to rebuild, what has to go that we were holding on to, both at a financial, spiritual growth level. It's really looking at things very, okay, I wouldn't say rationally. Let's not be delusional. Let's talk about the elephant in the room and what will we need to do to change this. What was that? Aries moon here. Yeah. Oh, fun. So if you're finding that, and look, we were even talking this morning about value systems and people's belief systems, right? The thing is, let's think back to childhood. When we were born, we didn't give a permission based. How we were trained, how we were raised, it was what it was. It's very, very hard to outgrow trained energies. So ascension, and awakening is part of that. And trying to have forgiveness for, again, with the Gemini nodes, a lot of people at the moment are going to have differing views. It's very tribe orientated, which is actually, it can come across as bullying. So we need to be really mindful of that and maybe not be just assuming because a person is exhibiting a behavior that it's directly who they are to the core. It's conditioning. We outgrow conditioning. Well, not necessarily we outgrow it. 3D situations can trigger us to question that. But ingrained energy of, being trained to believe something, it doesn't define completely who you are. Some of you may have been holding on to a belief system that was ingrained from family, and to be part of that tribe, you felt you had to continue that tradition. It can be very isolational to feel that you don't resonate with that energy and having to move away from that. But it doesn't mean you're right or wrong. It's just coming to a soul acceptance of who you are. Does that make sense? It kind of sucks to grow, I've got to say. But you'll find your tribe. But just, don't be a follower. We have our brains. We can make our own decisions. And we can't live for another. We need to live for ourselves. So the North Node in Capricorn and South Node in Cancer. Yes. He would have been hitting you for North Node. I've got to think now. North Node. North Node and what? Let me check. Is it a reversal? North Node and Cap. Yeah, it will be. It's basically a nodal return. So yes, both sides. So if you feel topsy-turvy and you're looking at things differently, 100%. Even on a reversal, it's a review point of it, but it's still a nodal effect because it's within your birth chart. Correct, Mark. Australia is having a nodal reversal. For those of you in Australia, we have an opportunity over the next 2.5 years. And I do need to, I'm just trying to find time, honestly. I'm cramming this in as I'm doing my research for the next 2 months. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so I do need to look. America has a very heavy Pluto aspect. So I believe you guys are having a Pluto return, which is like birth, deaths, endings section of the chart. But it's, okay, who are we depending on? Are we kind of forming our connections in trade, etc., with the correct energies? Are they ideal for our value system and our belief? Am I correct, Mark? And Donald Trump, even with his energy, his astrology, his Mercury is actually in Cancer. His Uranian energy does affect his, how do I place it? He's having a nodal return. He's also got the Gemini Sagittarius axis. Past life energy would have been a guru or a religious leader, king, queen, etc. Moving into this life, he directly connecting with the tribe energy and the belief systems and bridge that gap. Unfortunately, and Nostradamus and not just astrologers, even psychics did predict something to do with either cognitive, and it kind of does make sense because the Uranian placement does cause issues where energetically with the Sagittarius, they feel king orientated energy. They speak and believe they know thy truth. And then the Cancer energy within the Mercury is, I compassionately am regretful of that. I directly relate, but I don't want to get anyone upset. Then moves back into the Uranian energy. And it causes a lot of conflict. So there can be, I've got to look at his chart and see where the Pisces element is, because that can be causing dynamics and issues as well. I've got to say, it's hard. But for America, you guys are going through a transformative state of who you directly deal with. Should I worry that I don't resonate with Divine Feminine? Okay, should I worry that I don't resonate with the Divine Feminine needing to put up boundaries, as in cutting? The boundaries are with yourself though, Dal. Look, if a person's in alignment, I've had a few readings lately and I do have to be so careful. I've been on the path for over 20 years. I've met a lot of advisors that are spiritual healers, counselors, and a lot of what they talk about within twin flame path, and it's for any human being, not just twin flames. Twin flames are more complex. Regardless, in any direct connection, I'll give you an example. If your twin is with somebody and you directly have compassion that they are stuck, and you know there may be a karmic in the picture, by you understanding and energetically supporting them by phone, you are directly enabling that person to not change. And it's not to say you don't talk to them. It's your choice what you do. But you could actually be delaying it because you're helping that person obtain extra energy to maintain doing something that they are stating is toxic for their health. So yes, that support is understandable, but it's delaying the inevitable because sometimes souls can be so stubborn. If it is that bad, why would you sit in the witch's cauldron? Don't be sitting there. So we do need to be very cautious. Sometimes our assistance and our support with anybody can be enabling a situation to not transform. And we can't. I had a girlfriend place a post on Facebook, and it was really linking in with masculines and, you know, how masculines can make their partners feel. And, you know, they hold on for way too long. We are not victims. Not one of us on this planet is a victim. Situations happen. When we're in that vibration, yes, we are. But we needn't feel we have no power. The power we do have is choice. Do we wish to be part of that equation? The reason why we don't decide is 9 times out of 10 we're scared there will be an adverse outcome, but we're not Gaia, and if that was going to happen, it was going to happen at any point. Like they say, if a bird is meant for you, let it free, and if it's truly yours, it will always return. But, you know, that's why I call it like playing chess. Initially, you may play chess. It's almost like you do come to an ascended state where you get psychic attacks from the energy. You're also watching that person, but there will always be a resonance of what's happening on their side is happening on your side. Does that make sense? So you can do whatever you want. Mine is emotionally distant. I just leave him be and keep being myself. Yeah, that's 100% fine. Feel like... but that's an emotional energy he needs to learn. It's not mature to do such. I mean, even when you find somebody blocks you, blocking them back. Now, if they're a toxic person, I mean, I have blocked people more from... I've got to remember that reader's name. I did post one on Facebook, and he talked about Scorpion and Venus, right? Venus and Scorpio, which is me. We do... People love to tell us things, right? I don't know why. But the Venus placement as such, and I have my nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. So part of my spiritual path was to, move towards what I'm doing right now, but not doing things for the money, doing things for the spiritual aspect of things and learning very karmic lessons, unfortunately. And I'm getting off track. See, that's the bloody Mercury and Cancer brain going on. Because I've got Cancer moon. Where was I? Let me rejot my memory. Ghosting. It's not a competition. Act with integrity. If a person has been toxic and you feel the need to block them and it's due to if they've blocked you, what's the bloody point of blocking them? And it's continue on the saga. If they ring and you choose to answer, you may answer. If they say, hey, I really miss you, bloody, but have you sorted your side of the fence? You can still state you do miss the person and I have compassion and understanding towards you, but the dream that you're dreaming is never going to occur if you don't jump. But there always is a resonance of what's going on your side of the fence as well. There could be a belief system we're holding, in a sense of directly having compassion, because 9 times out of 10 empaths would have experienced what the other person has. So you directly have enough compassion because you know it was very hard for you and you don't wish for another person to go through what you went through, but we can't stop them going through that. And maybe had you not gone through that, you wouldn't be the person you are today. So 9 times out of 10, maybe we correlate the energy with that felt horrible. Don't go through that. But with every darkness, there is light. What did you learn from that? What asset did you gain through it? Where did it take you? So ghosting and things to that degree. Psychically, yes. I have done a video based on that. And the previous video I uploaded does mention gen removal. And you can use anything that you feel clears your house. I've also articulated how to do a clearing in your house and use the crystals. But again, anytime you have a fixation belief of a person being stuck, tune out of it because you're assisting in that co-creation. You'll be very surprised how quick you can transform things, and it can be within 24 hours. So whatever comes up for you when you're looking at them, it's really ideal to actually sit there and chart and say what you think they need to change, where you think they're stuck, and all of that. And then look back on your side and write down how the mirror is, because you will find a way somehow you are doing that, and it will help you heal. As soon as you purge that, movement will happen. Yeah, well, Neptune's going retrograde. It's the underrealm, man. And in Pisces, ooh, yeah, Hades, man. I told you. When we had, I think it was 2017, 2018, a lot of, and the sacral chakra energy at the moment links some of the Cancer energy, which fair-based frequency. And I was even speaking to my daughter about this morning. Pacifies. What do we use to deal with our emotions? So fair-based frequency is also the sexual energy, the sacral chakra energy of achieving our things, almost like Mars, trying to achieve things. That energy is coming up at the moment where you might be excessively hungry, have desires to achieve something and then nothing. But pacifies, in a sense, it's like a dummy. It's like a cigarette. They are the band-aid in life we use to cope with adversity. It can be overeating. It can be drinking. It can be, gossiping. Whatever it is to purge or to deal and band-aid and coddle that energy. At a point, it will come that we can't. It doesn't work anymore. So it's interesting to look at the aspect of pacifiers. And during 2017 and 18 with the Pisces aspects, I believe it was in Chiron, we did have a lot of people falling off the bandwagon in utilization of pacifiers to cope with that astrology. So some of these aspects, especially with the eclipse, and even the conjunction that we're having on the 30th links back to 2007. So we're really, really ending a lot of cycles at the moment. It's just not pertaining to the last 2.5 years. And we do actually say, with spirituality and ascended souls, twin flames, etc., You're to break down the paradigm of family and tribe. So there might have been a lot of taboo about it, what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you view something. And it's the catalyst to transform those areas. It's a deep burden, but you may have found, if you guys as twin flames, the last your lifetime predominantly moving up into this eclipse point, and next month's eclipse point, you're ending that whole cycle. So it's almost like, if you want to look at a soul objective, this movement and this time frame is the event. It's pushing that paradigm to the next level. So hold through, keep moving. Yes, all of us on the whole planet are changing. It can be a very frightening time. You may not know where you're going or how things are going to come about. As Venus goes direct, you'll have a little bit more understanding. And it is going to, so it's more 3D situations. If somebody is causing you BS and you're just like, look, I can't help you, you're going to need to learn this, you may create those healthy boundaries. Do karmics see any of these synchronicities? Unless they're awoken, no. Maybe from an observation point. Look, I would say there is the possibility that some are twin flames, but not divine masculine or feminine's twin flame. But it depends on if they're able to deal with their wounds. A lot of healing in an awakening, and this is why the Leo King mentioned, are you going to take the blue pill or the red pill? It's because we can choose to go back to sleep, but we can't, right? Once we're awoken to certain things and we're aware of behavior, of accountability, of victim consciousness, that we may be a victim at a point, but we have tools to actually choose to rise or fall. People that haven't learnt, if we've enabled them, no, they're not awakening and they're not moving because they have no need to. We're enabling them to remain the same. Some people from a health perspective may not be able to. So it's a different energy. You can't be angry at someone that doesn't get what they're doing is wrong. And I wouldn't say feel sorry for them either, because they are a victim of their own life they're creating, and that's all of us. Once we're in awareness, the things outside of us are not within our control. How we directly deal with that adversity is. And 9 times out of 10, even at a humanistic level, sometimes we can react toxic. But you'll find an empath and a divine energy will feel guilt pertaining to that, as Shelley said. A karmic will not. They feel it's their God-given right, because it's very narcissistic. It's that needs psychology, counseling, therapy, and actually acknowledgement that they're part of an equation. But unless they can actually come to that space where they acknowledge they do have power, but not where they think it is, because that's manipulation, and they do the work on themselves, they won't have a great life. Right. So, yeah. I mean, the healing I did, which I'm continuing to do through my life, I actually realised how much I was actually standing in my way, preventing myself from achieving things because maybe I was scared of certain dynamics. I've definitely learnt more so about PTSD, and it's not necessarily that you haven't dealt with the wound. You wouldn't chuck yourself in the witch's cauldron constantly because it's not healthy, right? Because you've been there, done that. So creating that healthy boundary is saying, look, you may like to do that. I've learnt my lesson and I appreciate it. I have no shade of the past, but I'm not going to live in the past either. And I won't sit in the witch's cauldron. So healthy boundaries with people that continually push that old reminder back on you. Yeah, your internet's buffering. Oh, Mercury bloody retrograde. So I better go because I do need to... Didn't you say the one of your last videos that the DM won't turn around until... No, not at all. I mean, this 2020 is the masculine ascending. But for energies to have this whole year, Twin and I have been working together, but even though we deem it as union, people that come into union in 2020... you can't be you won't be able to be codependent in the connection nevertheless. So any fixation energy you have, it will cause conflict. It doesn't mean you won't come into union. It means your lessons within the union will feel quite adverse and uncomfortable. But you will still reach union, but it will be not as smooth, right? Because you'll have that frequency to purge together, which there is always work to do together. What I have found being in union, and potentially maybe why it came into union, is because I'm on YouTube and I help guide, and I have to go through synchronistic events to gain perspective and understanding to share, but also because both of us are not fixated on what you're doing or what I'm doing. We do what we need to do, which is less codependent. I don't know, sweet. Is it buffering for anyone else? I'll keep it short and sweet. Is it buffering for anyone else? I'm sorry if it is. No. Yeah. Your crown chakra is probably activated. So I hope I haven't offended anyone. Okay? I don't intend to offend you. All merely I can give you is a perspective I've experienced. So, you know, when it does come, and it's healthy boundaries will be with yourself. So when you're going into any connection, it doesn't matter if they're a twin, if they're a soulmate, whoever they are. We are part of the dance. Okay? If you feel you lose something, then you have an attachment energy to it, unfortunately. And, you know, some of you as spiritualists will get to a point, hold up, Antonella, you might get to a spiritual point where you go, oh my gosh, you know, I run to lose something here. Well, we can lose something with anyone, right? If you feel that you're going to lose something, that kind of excuse will run out as well. And that's where the run chaser comes through. So if you energetically know you feel uncomfortable with something and you don't articulate it, you're not creating a healthy boundary with yourself. You're not being the ally in your own corner. So we can only get across it ourselves. So if you have something you need to articulate, you can't control how a person is going to react. But if you don't say something, you're going to get pissed at yourself. If you don't feel comfortable doing something, even if it does or doesn't make sense. I've had to make that call through the whole year. And, you know, maybe energetically look at things and go, oh my gosh, am I a bad person? I was like, well, no, I can only do what I can do. I have done the best I can do. Do I have compassion to it? Yes. But then when I look at it, I think, oh, I don't think so. I got compassion, but I'm not stupid. And can that change? Yes, it can. But where I stand right now, decisions are made. So you check in with yourself regularly. You try and be kind to yourself. You have your purgatory experiences coming through. But moving into the connection, every trigger you had is still going to be there, guys. So the work that we do on ourselves is so that we can choose to move forward. While you're ready to do that, they won't be able to come towards you with the same intent because you won't tolerate it. You won't judge, but you'll be like, well, if you're still healing, I'm still moving. I'm growing. I'm moving into a happy life. So, yes, they will energetically know they can't do that with you because it's just not going to work. It grows old. And it's not nastiness. It's not aggression. It's a natural progression of where you spiritually get to. I mean, it's also where masculines get to too. Nobody is going to eat hay for dinner for the rest of their life and think it tastes great. So if they're really, really, really having a crappy time, it might be a karmic debt towards a past life, but they're not going to live there forever because it's not hot. If something's in alignment, they're going to stay. If something's blocked at a spiritual level, it's not a personal thing. We're trying to move through it. So was there a question, was there, Antonella? We'll be punchy, because I have blocked out most of the week to get 12 zodiac signs done, 2 moon energies and astrology, and I'm hoping I can pre-record it because I just don't have time to keep doing it live all the time because I've got bookings, clients, paperwork. Look, I have found I knew that my twin at a spiritual level, when he was and wasn't ready. And it wasn't about me. It really wasn't. Energetically in the ego, we can say, but no, if we step back and we see it through their eyes, when a person is healing, whatever that's about, it takes some time. So you could leave a connection and jumping into a new connection, it's not going to help you. It's coddling the energy. It's pacifying the pain body experience. And it does complicate it, because if you're feeling like guilt, remorse, regret, anger, you're doing that inside of a new connection. And that's unfair to that person. It's unfair to yourself too, because you're trying to heal. Meanwhile, they're going, "Darl, what's wrong?" It's not a personal thing, but we do take it personal, because if that person is not present, you need to call that out, but you need to acknowledge that and accept it. Can that person be present in this moment? Are they ready? And be kind to yourself and kind to them. But you can't hold your life forever. Alignment, my growth, progression on my side. Question, what's coming up for you? The first thing I'm sensing is perspective. Now, I looked at your chart when we did the reading together. Career orientation at the moment, there's this beauty in the fakeness of having security, right? Because technically speaking, all of that can go in 24 hours. If there's delays in anything, it's generally because we have a fixed belief of that security energy. So with that, whatever's coming up, have a look at it. It's almost like, saying we believe in God, but we're questioning things. It's like, okay, it's spirituality. You don't even have to, you could just believe in source, Gaia, whatever that be, but a belief. Same with twin flame journey. It's getting to the point where you've purged things, that you can sit there and hear the energy, feel the energy, and know, away from the ego, and let go. How many times have you had adversity where something has gone absolutely pear-shaped, and in 2 days you can fix that scenario? You didn't have the skills of that. You didn't have the knowing it was coming, and bang, it has, and then you deal with the cleanup, whatever that be. They're the tools. Universe gives us experiences in life. I was sitting there the other day and thinking, oh my gosh, these fads we go through. Sewing. I decided I was sewing for a while, and I, had all the most, expensive cotton and everything else. Yes, we're getting Stefan on YouTube shortly with his beautiful twin. I love it a bit. She's so funny. So with that, I can go back to that skill at any point. It was a fad, but it's a skill, and we take those energies with us. Can I pull a card for you? You're going to hide in the bunker. Shelley, you saw me yesterday. I told you, doll. You're going through the same crap as what I went through. It's going to pass. I'm going to pull you one chakra card first. But yeah, you're healing, Antonella. It's just don't get scared, doll. Everything does happen for a reason. If it's pausing and delaying, it's saying, universe always does have your back. It's not there to punish you. Oh God. Well, this has been coming up for you too, Shelley. Sacral chakra, sexual energy. Your passions, your fear-based frequency, very Cancer-orientated energy. You can feel the drive and the energy, the movement, the moving through it. So because your counterpart is going through a transformative energy, we look at this as that energy, but at the same time, it's to do with liberation, gaining control over what is affecting them, having to deal with pacifiers. Right, this is why you're feeling that energy. It's because they're dealing with that energy. So, we can call it the devil card in the tarot, really. And for yours, 4th house placement, home-related dynamic, for your twin. And also, the Capricorn energy is falling in their 10th house of their career. It's like, And their shadow energy is Libra. Say hello. See, it pays to know my friends and my clients with their twins. Okay, 8 of Cups. Money ain't everything. Spirituality. What are we fighting for? What excuses are we using not to move or to move? And I told you that I kept feeling there was another reason deeper than, and sometimes this excuse-based frequency. Okay, we haven't stopped talking completely in 3 years. Not ever completely and almost in union. I'm going. Yeah. She's character. Did you send her a clock, Stefan? Is she on here at the moment? I'll send her a clock. We did a chit-chat coaching session. Yeah, well, it's been going on for, and it's funny because it's 8 of Cups and 8 of Sacral Chakra. And 8 is like, you know who you love. No, she's asleep. Oh, she cracks me up. She cracks me up. So when you're over there, are you over there already, or you haven't got there? Because I think you guys are moving anyway. Whatever. By the time you do get there, there's movement. I don't know where you guys are going, but there's movement. You're not going to stay in that location. You're not there yet. You know what? By the time you get there... Oh, gosh. I love my job. Yes. All will happen. You want to get there healthy, remember? All in good time. Everything happens for a reason. There may be a direct reason very separately to the TF connection of the delay. There could be something very personal on each side of the fence that's happening that needs tying up. And it's synchronistic. Look at this. We've got the Cancer-Capricorn axis. The eclipse is occurring. There must be a direct reason for a balance out and ending of that karmic cycle, because both our energies as first wavers are meant to break down that paradigm of relationships. Anywho, I'm going to love you some leafies because I've got a lot of work to do and it's almost lunch and I haven't, apart from this, I haven't done anything. I've researched the astrology. Yeah. Tell her I'm thinking about her, and so that she can hear your heart, send her a clock. Love and light, guys. I hope the video helps. Thank you for your thumbs up. I deeply appreciate it, and your comments. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you guys a bit later.